acquainted as the Saskatoon Mamba take on the Edmonton Stingers for the first time this season. Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Flaherty alongside Eric Magdans. Katrin Hodson will join us in a few moments. Well, it's a classic CEBL matchup as two of the league's original franchises meet in the first half of a home-and-home here in the Bridge City, and they're going in opposite directions right now. The Mamba are on a 4-game win streak, and that includes a couple of road victories in Ontario over the weekend. They've also won 6 of their last 7. Wow, the Stingers, well, they're struggling right now. Losers of 3 straight games and 4 of their last 5. It's a bit of a role reversal from what we've seen between these two teams the last few years. But, Eric, as we know, in this league, your fortunes can change in a hurry, and the Stingers present another stiff test here for the Red Hot Mamba.
That's right, Ryan. The Mamba have been playing great of late. They've had some spectacular performances, and their confidence continues to grow. But this is not the time for them to relax. The Stingers have been one of the most consistent franchises in the entire CEBL. But this season, they've been searching for an identity. The Mamba hope that they'll keep on searching for a couple more games, as these matchups could have a major impact in future playoff positioning.
Yeah, big interdivisional matchup tonight, and a lot of interdivisional matchups coming up for the Mamba. But with more on tonight's matchup, let's now send it over to Katrin Hodson.
Like you said, Ryan, two teams in two very different positions this year versus last. For the Mamba, that means a significant improvement over the 2025 season. They are currently on a 4-game winning streak. They've won the last 6 of their 7 games. This time last year, they were down 9 games. For the Stingers, a bit of a rougher start. They will be looking to turn around a 3-game losing streak. Coach Baker saying defense will be one of their primary focuses tonight. In his words, counting on your opponent to miss shots is not a game-winning strategy. That being said, both Coach Fox and Coach Baker are very aware that it is still early days. The chips could fall either way tonight and into the remainder of the season, which is perhaps what makes these mid-season games so critical for teams and so exciting to watch for fans. Back to you, Ryan.
SaskTel Center, Snake Pit 1.0 as the Mamba gets set to take on these Edmonton Stingers for the first time. So let's take a look at the stats between the two teams here tonight. As you can see, the Mamba with about a 7-point advantage in points per game. Each team shooting the ball pretty similarly, although the Mamba do have an edge from the 3-point line. They are the top 3-point shooting team in the CEBL. Assist numbers pretty similar, so are the rebounding totals. Really, the biggest difference right there, aside from points per game, is the records of these two teams. Now, looks like Mamba head coach Isaiah Fox is standing by with Katrin Hodson.
All right, Coach, you're on a roll, 4-game winning streak. Edmonton will be hungry to turn around their 3-game losing streak. What's the focus heading into the night to get things started the way you want right from the hop?
We talked about bringing a good energy early on in the game, and for us, that's just attention to detail with what we talked about in the scout, making sure we're getting back in transition, making sure we're matching up with our and knowing who our personnel are, and then rebounding together. Real big focus on the defensive side. Hopefully we'll spark us and keep our energy the same how it's been in the last 4 games.
Earlier today, you talked about letting the game decide who goes where. How has that served you as this team has found their rhythm?
Well, the best game we played so far, we shared the ball amazingly. The Niagara game, our assist-to-turnover ratio was really special, and that's the messaging right there. Let's let the game decide. As long as we move the ball, get to our spots, the game's going to decide who's going to be our leading scorer, leading assist guy, and we can do it together, and the game was going to decide the outcome.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck. Back to you, Ryan.
Thank you, Katrin, and Coach Fox, always so forthcoming with his answers. We certainly appreciate that. All right, we are getting close to tip-off time, but first we're going to take a quick break and then back for the opening quarter here from the Snake Pit. You are watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome to a new CEBL season.
It's been amazing, Canada basketball, to put that platform and give guys an out.
The crowds were bigger, the players got better, the quality of the game got better.
You gotta love it, Canadian Goose.
Fasten your seatbelt tonight because we're gonna have some high energy and some high flying stuff.
This is a trail, this is the real, and all that I gotta say. I'm in my zone.
No shortage of emotion, no shortage of intensity as
anticipated.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Welcome back. Moments away from tip-off here at SaskTel Center as the Saskatoon Mamba gets set to take on the Edmonton Stingers. Let's get right into the tail of the tape. Eric, you picked a few keys to the game for both sides, presented by CDIC. First, for the visiting Stingers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ryan. The first one, they got to start strong. Whenever you're playing a team that's coming in hot, coming in on a winning streak, you want to give them no more confidence than they already have. So start strong, get right to it. And then trust the plan. Coach Baker and his staff are very detail-oriented, very technical. Trust the plan, stay with it for the entire 40 minutes. And along with that, you need to trust each other. This is a new group here, an ever-changing group, but they have to mold quickly to each other and trust each other to be successful.
Great stuff. All right, now let's look at the home team, the Mamba, their keys to the game presented by CDIC.
And these two teams are very different styles. The Stingers are going to try to slow it down, play much more of a half-court game. That's not who the Mamba are. They got to play with pace. That starts with rebounding, and that starts with extra efforts. Sometimes when you're playing well, you think it's because you're making shots, and you don't necessarily realize you're making those shots because of all the extra efforts that you're putting in there, just like Coach Fox said. And then with that, stay hot. Keep playing and keep being who you are.
Well, consistency has been a big key here for the Mamba on this hot streak. Let's take a look at the starting lineups now. And yeah, no changes to what we've seen for the last few games here for Isaiah Fox's crew. Devontae Bandu, Jaden Bediako, the Canadians, along with Tavian Dunmartin, Jalen Williams, and Tevian Jones. As for the Stingers, a couple of ex-Saskatchewan Rattlers in there, Emmanuel Bandumel, Scotty Lindsay, along with Nick Hornsby, Trey King, and Mason Boursier. All right, Eric, you've outlined a player to watch from each team. Let's start with Nick Hornsby for the visiting Stingers.
Yeah, Nick Hornsby is he's not gonna overwhelm you on this stat sheet, but he is the absolute glue guy here for the Edmonton Stingers. In his 4th season with the team, he's the holdover for many seasons. 10 points a game, shooting over 54% from the field. He's the guy who's got to keep things going.
All right, now for the Mamba, your player to watch is someone that's gaining a lot of attention here this season, Jaden Bediako.
Yeah, so Jaden's got a simple stat that means a whole lot. When Jaden plays, the Mamba are 6-0. When Jaden doesn't play, they're 0-5. He's averaging a double-double on a season, has made absolute huge strides over his 3 seasons here with the Mamba and the Rattlers. Let's see if he can keep growing from there.
It has been quite the growth to watch him over the last couple years, and he's been a linchpin. We'll get more into that as this broadcast goes on. They're lining up, and we are just about set to get this one underway. It is a matchup we have seen many times before. In fact, it's the 23rd head-to-head meeting all time between the Mamba and the Stingers. The opening tip-off is presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL. Always fun when these two teams get together. They know each other quite well, Eric, and of course you've been on both sides of this matchup during your coaching days in this league. So you've seen it from both benches.
I definitely have. I had a chance in the 1st season of the CEBL to sit on the Stingers bench, and then spent 4 seasons over here on the Rattlers bench as well. So not only do I have experience on both benches, I know most of these players from my time being able to coach them, including Jordan Baker. I got to coach him at U of A as well.
So no secrets between opponents coming into tonight. The game is underway. Ryan Flaherty, Eric Magdans, Katrin Hudson with you. Glad to have you on board tonight. The Mamba with the opening possession after winning the tip, wearing their Prism jerseys at home for the first time this season. A shot missed. A rebound, though, for Jaden Bediako. And how about that for a degree of difficulty for the first points of the game?
Yeah, great way for the Mamba to start here. The Stingers are small, so if Jaden can take advantage of that, it's a huge advantage for the Mamba.
Devian Jones colliding there on the defensive side, and that opened up a big spot on the floor for a two in response. Stingers looking to get on track. Mamba want to keep pushing them back behind them in the standings. There's a three-pointer for Jalen Williams. Mamba up 5-2 here, a minute in. Scotty Lindsay, he certainly can do a lot of damage from deep, but that three won't drop, and out of bounds off of Nick Hornsby. And Hornsby is going to be a real important piece, not just in terms of the play, but in terms of settling down this group as they try to get back in the win column here, Eric.
Yeah, you can see the Stingers are a little out of sorts here to start the game, especially defensively. With this smaller lineup, Trey King sort of acting as their center. Not typically that, working through a couple things early.
Davian Dunbarton losing control of the ball out of bounds. Let's introduce you to our officiating crew tonight. The crew chief is Neil Donnelly, the umpires Mitch Strom and Chris Brischuk, who are hoping that's the last time that we'll say their names tonight. Like any good official. We're just a little bit of an issue with the shot clock here, I believe, is causing us a brief delay. A conference going on here at the scorer's table, but Jordan Baker is listening in intently as he's got a good perch to check in on what's happening here.
The Mamba just have to be careful early in this game here. This can feel like a little bit of a trap game. Stingers have an undermanned lineup here, missing a couple guys. It's easy to kind of get into the flow, and all of a sudden the Stingers have some confidence, and then they start growing, and as the game goes on, trying to break that confidence only gets harder and harder.
And it looks like they're going to call the teams to their benches here as they try to get this issue resolved. Just a minute and 20 seconds in, but got a delay here, and it is clock related. So while they're doing that, talk a little bit more about this matchup, and it is a little bit different to see the Mamba as the quote-unquote favorite against Edmonton. It's been a little while since that's been the case between when these teams get together.
Yeah, absolutely. The Mamba have a very talented team this year and have some matchup advantages definitely over the Stingers. And the Stingers traditionally have been led by a lead guard, obviously Xavier Moon for many years, and then Sean East last season as the lead guard who kind of was the form of that team and kind of led them throughout it. A different look this year with more of a balanced approach from a number of different players. Nobody averaging over 15 points a game, but multiple guys averaging in double digits.
Isaiah Moore, Dane Danger no longer with the team, but speaking with Jordan Baker, Stingers president, GM, and head coach earlier today, he did say that he likes the group they have. He thinks they have the right voices in the room to try to turn around this 3-7 start. Of course, there's still a lot of racetrack left, but it goes quickly. It's a long and short season at the same time, so there is some, you can sense some urgency from this Stingers group. Jordan Baker saying they want to stay closer to the teams above them rather than falling off the pace.
Yeah, especially with 4 teams from each conference making it. Right now, the Stingers sitting in 4th. They want to keep a lead over that Calgary team that just got their first win and is starting to gain some confidence. And the Mamba just sitting right up there in 3rd. Obviously, these are some huge games to try to keep the Stingers below them.
But opportunity abounds for both teams here because they're entering a section of their schedules where they're going to play a lot of divisional games. And for Edmonton and Saskatoon alike, as they're both trying to improve their positioning, that gives them a chance to face the likes of Winnipeg and Vancouver, and of course Calgary as well, as they try to keep the Surge off the pace, right? So yeah, the big opportunities still ahead here on the schedule.
Big opportunities. The one thing that both these teams might have some advantages over other teams as well is the consistency of their teams. NBA Summer League's around the corner here. That can always mean roster movement for a number of different CEBL teams. These teams, not so much. Guys in different phases of their career, not necessarily looking for that same opportunity. that could prove an advantage moving into July.
Hey, shout out to our director, Garrett Brecken. Not only is he running the controls on this broadcast, he just came out from the bowels of the arena to get the clock working again. So thanks, GB. We're ready to resume play here after that brief delay. 5-2, Mamba leading it just over a minute in. Mason Boursier over to Trey King, back for Boursier. He's going to take a deep three, no good, and Bediako with the rebound, and stage is potentially set for him to fill up that column of the stat sheet here tonight. We mentioned the size advantage the Mamba have tonight. Dunmartin in for Bediako, working on King. King staying with him, but Bediako just backs him down and puts it in.
Great look for the Mamba, getting it in deep again. Want to see how the Stingers adjust. They might be looking to send a double team, then our shooters are going to be open.
Here's Hornsby cutting inside, and a nice touch in the paint as he puts it through the rim. And 7-4 game.
Nick Hornsby's such a crafty player, can play on a bunch of different spots on the floor, has a number of different ways to finish. Just a really experienced veteran.
Now Tevian Jones, a drive kick to the corner. Tavian Dunmartin, too strong on the three. Rebound available, Boursier finds it, and Hornsby on the run. He's got a man driving to the basket. It's Emmanuel Bandumel who puts it in.
That's 2 dunks for Bandumel to start the game. Mamba can't be happy with that. They got to try to keep these guys on the perimeter where they can see help.
The fans here in Saskatoon know that Emmanuel Bandumel can do that if he's given the opportunity. Playing for the Rattlers 2 seasons ago. Bediako doubled underneath, and he is fouled. That's before the shot, so it'll be a side out of bounds. Mamba will keep the basketball. The foul goes against Trey King.
Yeah, Emmanuel Bandumel was one of my favorite players to coach on the Rattlers. Just a guy who showed up to work every single day, did whatever you needed to do. We had quite a bit of roster turnover that year, and he absorbed a bunch of different roles within the team. Did every single thing we asked of him.
Played every single game in that 2024 season in a year where the starting lineup almost completely flipped midway through the year, and he was asked to do a lot in the second half, and he took that on and did well with it as Williams drains the three from right down Main Street, his second triple, and it's a 10-6 Mamba lead. Now a steal by Jones. Fast break here, but Boursier puts an end to that, committing the foul at midcourt. Mason Boursier coming off a bit of an injury, but certainly a valuable piece of the puzzle for the Stingers. A well-traveled CEBL player, and an unforced error there by the Mamba, the turnover on the inbounds. Mason Boursier, 3 games away from 100 in his CEBL career. This is number 98. So I guess 2 games away now after tonight. Scotty Lindsay looking for King. That's knocked away by Bediako. Boursier recovers, shot clock down to 3. Bandumel pulls up. That didn't look like it came out in time, but doesn't go through. And now Jones, little change of pace inside, and he will go to the line for a couple free throws.
Right now, you got to love the Mamba's pace. They're able to push it really well in transition offensively, but they're also being back and built and being able to control the pace defensively, making things really hard for the Stingers in the half court.
Yeah, and 2 fouls already on Trey King. He'll head to the bench along with Mason Boursier. Into the game, Isaac Jack, the Port Alberni, BC product, and Boz Davis Jr., the first-year guard from Chester, Pennsylvania, wearing the classic basketball number of 98 on his jersey, Eric. Not a lot of those.
Not a lot of those, but we've heard some good things. A guy who can fill it up and put the ball in the basket, which is something the Stingers have badly needed this season.
So Jones goes 1 for 2. It's a 5-point Mamba lead. Davis inside for Jack. A little too strong. Bediako, great job to save that. And Dunmartin inside Bandu. And great mid-air adjustment as he puts it home over Hornsby.
And we all know Devontae as a three-point shooter, but he's a great athlete as well. He can get up. He had a knee injury a couple years ago, but you can tell he's starting to really get comfortable on his legs.
A couple of tough finishes there for Jack, getting the ball inside, but couldn't get it to drop. And now, how about Jaden Bediako? That, I believe, is his first career three-pointer, and you can see the whole Mamba bench coming off to celebrate that as Jordan Baker forced to call a timeout with Saskatoon already leading it by double digits. So we will step aside. Jaden Bediako just going for another trick in his bag. This time, it's the triple, and the Mamba lead it by 10. You're watching the Canadian Elite Basketball League on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL+.
When Crystal Glass introduced our residential window line this past year, it was essential to manufacture them locally.
Crystal Glass has always been a proudly Canadian company.
We employ Canadians, we serve Canadians, and we are Canadians. So you know our windows are designed and built for our climate.
And since we've been the clear choice for glass for over 75 years, you can trust our quality and service.
Visit one of our over 50 locations across Western Canada or at crystalglass.ca. Financing is now available.
Back inside the Snake Pit, 5:35 to play first quarter, and the Mamba leading the Stingers 16-6. Jaden Bediako just scored his first three-point bucket as a professional, or at least as a CEBL player. With more on the big man, let's send it over to Katrin Hodson.
Well, fans have now watched Jaden Bediako for 3 seasons with this franchise. He played his first pro games ever in Saskatoon, and he's just developed immensely as a player since arriving that first season. He's been having an incredible season thus far, and his impact on the floor really can't be understated, something both Coach Fox and his teammates recognize. Coach Fox absolutely singing his praises this morning, calling his recent performance against Niagara phenomenal and spectacular. He also talked about how much it means to Bediako to do well here, specifically in Saskatoon with this franchise. This community means a lot to him, and that motivates him, and that in turn motivates the other players. We asked Tavian Dunn-Martin what was pulling the team together, and he said without hesitation, JB and his presence in the paint. On top of that, he's known as a positive and encouraging teammate and a player who is proving himself to be an indispensable part of this team.
Thanks very much, Katrin. And just a positive guy all around. Always fun to be around. Jaden Bediako. A good possession out of the timeout for Edmonton with Scotty Lindsay making the three. Now Bediako swarmed in the paint. He wants the foul, but no whistle on that sequence. Bandumel driving the lane, and a 5-0 run to respond here by the Stingers. Now a steal. Davis, Bandumel inside Hornsby. Can't get it to go, and Bediako hauls in the rebound. This Western Conference game is presented by Cal Tire, as Tevian Jones will head to the line, trying to get a fast break bucket there. He'll settle for a couple free throws.
Foul troubles here is something to watch for the Stingers. Already 2 fouls on Trey King. First foul there on Isaac Jack. Stingers are not big, and getting their bigs into foul trouble early could be a huge advantage for the Mamba.
Tevian Jones, 77% from the line this season. Well, if you want to follow this league on social media, highly recommend you do. There's some great stuff on all the platforms. You can follow at CEB League on all social platforms to stay up to date on stats, storylines, and more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. Mamba leading it by 7, 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go, first quarter. Jack working on Bediako, and nice work there by Isaac Jack. He had a couple tough outcomes the last 2 shots, but gets that one to drop.
And Davis has made a big impact since getting in the game here. He's done a good job of getting in the lane and getting guys involved. We'll see if he can start scoring as well as they start taking away those passes.
Dejuan Gordon with a nice little dump off to set up Bediako for that 2, and the other way spins out for Hornsby. So once again, the Mamba not changing their import rotation here. Jameer Chaplin, the odd man out again for the 4th straight game. Off the miss, a battle for the loose ball, and that was last touched by Jack, so it'll stay with Saskatoon. And now we'll get the first look at Marcus Harding tonight, as he'll give Bediako a chance to catch his breath. Jaden Bediako already up to 9 points. Tevian Jones, 4-3. Isaiah Fox wanted a quick start, Eric, and I believe this qualifies. 23-13 with still 3+ minutes to go in this opening quarter.
And you got to love that the Mamba continue to play the right way. They're moving the ball, they're getting open, cutting hard, doing the little things to create these open shots for one another.
But there's a guy who can heat up in a hurry. Scotty Lindsay follows his own miss.
Yeah, another former Rattler who can just absolutely shoot and score the ball. A guy you're going to want to keep contained early.
And it's going the other way this time on an offensive foul against Dejuan Gordon. That's the first foul on the Mamba here in this game. So that'll be a turnover, and Stingers possession here, trailing by 8. Tay Donald now in, running the point for Edmonton. Lindsay puts up a 3, comes up well short.
And the Mamba got away with one that time. Didn't handle the ball screen very well. Scotty Lindsay will not miss very many of those, so don't be trying that too often.
Lindsay averaging 12 points per game this season, a bit below his career average in the CEBL. Gordon now. Jamal Fuller, who's checked in for Saskatoon. Jump stop in the paint, can't finish. Harding is there. He draws the contact, and he will head to the line.
And the Stingers are just small. They got 3 guys on the court right now who are just over 6 feet. Scotty Lindsay, who plays the shooting guard, is playing the power forward for them. It's just going to be a tough night for them. They're going to have to battle down low and try to get out in space.
Trey Townsend just checked in for the Mamba as well. Of course, he was the hero in their last home game over at Merlis Belcher Place last week. Just another piece of the puzzle as the Mamba going with a couple bigger guys out right now against this smaller Stingers lineup. Harding makes both free throws. Lead back up to 10 for Saskatoon. Davis, nice pass inside, and Trey King finishes it off at the rim.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Davis's passing so far. He's finding those lanes, hitting guys right in stride where they're getting easy finishes.
Now Townsend, outside, Tavian Dunn-Martin kicks it to the corner. Fuller back for TDM, they swing it around, open look, Gordon for 3, no. And Mike Nuga with the rebound, another former player here in Saskatoon. Around the perimeter, back to Nuga. Can't get the 3 to go. Townsend on the glass. Quick pace here as the teams go back and forth. Gordon gonna try another 3. That's well off the mark. And a loose ball foul called against Saskatoon. That's on Marcus Harding.
And credit to the Stingers here. They've come in and they've started to rebound with 5 guys. They're taking 1 guy to try to take away the Mamba big man and then having guys run in from the perimeter to contribute. It's making a big impact here in order to allow them to get out in transition.
Mamba going as big as they can without having Bediako out now as Jalen Williams comes out to replace Tavian Dunn-Martin. It's a lot of length on the floor right now for Saskatoon. Davis pulls it out. Rooms into the corner. That's a sweet stroke from Trey King. Cal Tire, proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. Dejuan Gordon looking at a chance for 3 after the hoop and the harm.
And Gordon started this year starting, and then as the season's progressed, he's moved into a bench role, and he's been a real spark plug for the Mamba, sort of being able to come off the bench, be really aggressive in these minutes when they really need some scoring.
And that's the third on Trey King, so likely the last we've seen of him for quite some time here, no doubt. Reverse won't go for Nuga, and he'll stay with the Stingers as the ball went out of bounds. So further complicating the issue here in the first quarter with Trey King picking up 3 fouls. Donald, blanketed by Gordon, now gets a screen from Jack. Hoists up a 3, but over the basket and out of bounds. Half a minute to go in the opening quarter. Mamba led by as many as 10, looking to get back to that, or perhaps one more on this possession. Gordon dribbles into traffic and bailed out by the whistle there as he got himself into a tough spot. But it will be free throws here as the Mamba are in the bonus.
Yeah, Gordon's going to be aggressive. He's always looking to try to get in that lane. Sometimes he gets himself in tight spots, but a lot of times it's resulting in fouls and getting him into the free throw line.
Tay Donald picking up that foul, his first of the game. And as I was saying a couple minutes ago, this is 4 straight games now where Isaiah Fox has kept the imports situation the same as Jameer Chaplin is sitting, and be curious to see at which point. I guess you don't, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it, right, Eric? So Gordon's been the benefactor, getting back from that injury, and he's played ever since he's returned to health.
Yeah, when you're playing as well as the Mavs have played over their last 4 games, it's really hard to try to make a change there, and why rock the boat when you are playing so well.
So he does complete the 3-point play, makes the 2 for 2. So it's once again a 10-point Mamba lead. Nuga slashing inside, kick out. Davis gets around the closeout, scoops it up and in. Last possession here for Saskatoon. Gordon takes a look at the clock. Driving, blocks. And good defense there by Edmonton at the end of the quarter. And give them credit, they fell behind by 10 early, but they haven't allowed the Mamba to extend that lead. It's an 8-point game now after 10 minutes of play. Saskatoon leading it 30-22. We'll take a step aside here and be back with the second quarter. You're watching the CEBL on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Back inside the snake pit as the Saskatoon Mamba lead the Edmonton Stingers 30-22. It's been a tougher start to the year than the Stingers are used to, but Jordan Baker's seen pretty much everything in this game, and with more on how he is helping his team navigate this rough stretch, let's send it over to Katrin Hodson.
That's right, Ryan. Coach Baker acknowledging that it is a tough start, but also saying it is a long season. A couple of years ago, they had a rough start similar to this. In his words, it just takes one win, one domino to fall. And that one win can really propel a team forward, not only in terms of the win itself, but also in terms of the team morale. Like you said, Coach Baker is seasoned. He's saying if they have some success tonight, it will go a long way. A big part of coming back from these tough losing streaks is believing you can. The Mamba lost their first 4 games, and they came back from that to really turn things around. The Stingers could do the same thing. There's still time, and they are definitely vying to get back into a top 3 position in the West.
Thank you very much, Katrin. The foul on Jamal Fuller to begin the quarter. That'll send Aaron Rooms to the line, the third-year Stinger. Now full-on professional basketball player now that he's graduated from TMU.
Just a heck of a career at TMU. Just an all-Canadian in multiple years. Won OUA championship this past year and has spent a couple of seasons here with the Stingers as well. And every single year continues to get better.
He makes both, and it's a 6-point game. First possession for the Mamba. Gordon runs into some resistance inside. Ball out of bounds off Edmonton. Townsend, Harding, Williams, Fuller, and Gordon, the 5 to begin the frame for Saskatoon. It's Rooms, Hornsby, Davis, Jack, and Nuga for the Stingers. Corner 3, Gordon, that's good. And he's got a few words for the baseline official, too, after he made that. Or perhaps a fan down there? I suspect that was directed at the official.
I think it was unfortunately at the official.
Lucky to maybe not get a T there. That looked pretty emphatic.
I like the adjustments here the Stingers have made coming out in the second quarter. A little 2-2-1 full court press here, and offensively they're really looking to pick up the tempo, get that ball moving early.
But a turnover on that last trip. Now Gordon with it. Inside, Harding, floater won't go. Battle for the boost ball. Davis finds it quickly up for Rooms. Good job by Fuller getting back defensively. Shot comes up short, rebounded by Williams, and now Harding running the floor. Kick out Fuller. Rooms quickly coming out to shut him down. Knocks the ball loose. Hornsby grabs it. And here goes Nick Hornsby in a lovely little shuffle in the lane as he finishes off glass.
And one of the surprising things about Nick Hornsby is how he can push the ball in transition. You don't expect your power forward to get the ball and run. And he pushes the ball. He's the most dangerous guy for the Stingers in transition.
Gordon once again looking for a call. He's getting the buckets, and perhaps he might want to just focus on that right now. Although he does enjoy that whistle as an offensive foul is called against Edmonton. But early on here, Eric, Dejuan Gordon looks like he's got a little extra chip on his shoulder tonight.
He's got a little chip on his shoulder, and you know what? Having a little energy, trying to be a little extra competitive doesn't hurt. You just got to make sure you're focusing that energy in the right direction.
Boz Davis Jr. picking up the foul there on that last sequence. And turnovers, a big area of focus for Jordan Baker. When I asked him earlier today, what's the one thing that if you do it, you'll win the game? And he said, we got to take care of the basketball. He's referenced 14 first half turnovers in their loss to Winnipeg in the last game. That shot won't go. And was also the subject of his halftime interview in that game, which if you haven't seen it, you should check it out on the CEBL social media platforms. Never afraid to share his thoughts. And Gordon loses focus there for a half second, and another turnover that falls on the avoidable category there, Eric.
Yeah, a couple early ones here this game where that have been avoidable for the Mamba, just kind of losing their focus on a couple inbounds passes. Just if they can clean that up and stay consistent, they have a really good chance in this game.
One official calling it over and back, but Chris Brischuk and Mitch Strom are going to conference here because that looked like it was deflected. And yes, indeed, they get together and they get it straight. 9 on the shot clock here. Will be still, it'll remain with Edmonton. 7.5 to play in quarter number 2. Mason Boursier has a little space. No good on the 3, but there's Jack getting inside 3 Mamba defenders. And putting it home on the putback.
Yeah, he's played hard so far this game. He's really been physical with Jaden Bediako. You can already tell Jaden's getting a little bit frustrated with that. That's where Jack can be successful.
Count that basket, +1 for Tevian Jones. Foul will go against Isaac Jack, his second. So that's 3 on King and 2 on Jack, for those of you keeping score at home. Tevian Jones coming off a career-high 36-point effort in the second comeback win in less than a week for Saskatoon against the Ottawa Red Blacks. And I've been told that was even matching his high in college as well for Jones. So, well, we had a foul on the loose ball battle against Saskatoon there. It remains a 9-point Mamba lead. Jack gives it to Hornsby. Skip pass over to Bandumel. Hoists up a 3, that's good.
And the Stingers' ball movements increased so much over their first quarter here. They started the game a little bit slow. They found their rhythm. They're getting much better shots, and their defense has picked up a ton.
Bandumel with the steal. Jones trying to follow suit, but he gets called for the foul. And he does not agree with that. But Emmanuel Bandumel, who's provided a spark here in the first half, fans just got to look at that replay, and I think you could hear how they felt about that call as well.
It'll be important for the Mamba to just take a big old deep breath here. They're still going to be up 4 or 5 when this possession's done. Get back to doing what they did to start the game, which is just take care of business, move the ball, create open shots for each other.
Bandumel makes both. He's now up to 12 points. Stingers back within 4.
And I love the different looks that Coach Baker's just giving to the Mamba here. Little 2-2-1 full court that time. Possession before they go full court, man. Mamba don't care, creating open shots for one another.
How about Trey Townsend? He caught that with his back to the basket, then turned around and in one fluid motion hit the 3. Rebound for the Stingers. Bandumel again looking for 3. This time no, but the tip-in is good. Nice work by Abdul Muhammad on the offensive glass. Tavian Dunmartin cut off. Outside for Devontae Bandu. And now a whistle, and it looks like a foul away from the ball underneath the hoop as Bediako was battling with Jack, and Jack now picks up his 3rd foul of the night.
Ryan, you mentioned Trey Townsend a little bit ago. The emergence of Trey Townsend has been a big spark for this Mamba over the last winning streak. Had a little bit of a slower start to the season. How he sort of found his role within this team, but has really become a shooter and a defender for this team and adopted that role.
Well, Mamba might want to spend some time practicing their inbounds plays after this one, Eric. That's the 3rd time they've run into some issues. Leading it by 5, but Stingers with a chance to make this a 1-possession game. Just over 4 minutes into the second quarter, Bandumel pulls up and hits.
And that's just too easy for the Stingers there. Coming off a little dribble handoff, 1 dribble pull up for Emmanuel. He's going to hit that shot a lot. Not a ton of resistance.
Tavian Dunmartin, quiet night so far. He's come through in the late going, the last 2 target score winners for Saskatoon. And another turnover. That's on the foul this time on Jaden Bediako.
Yeah, right now Jaden's just using his arms a little too much. And playing against a smaller guy is difficult. It's not what these big guys are used to. They're used to battling against guys their own size. Sometimes you just got to adjust slightly. And I think we just got a technical foul here on Jaden as well, which is going to be his 3rd.
So that's not what Saskatoon wants. Something he's done better this year is to kind of shake that stuff off. We know early in his time with this franchise, he would get pretty distracted at times by the whistle or the lack thereof. And some old issues starting to creep up a little bit here, or creep back tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jaden, that's been the case tonight where he's been frustrated. He got frustrated in their last game against Ottawa as well. It's an area of growth. These are young guys looking to sort of advance in their professional career. And I think we just got another technical foul here on the Mamba. This one I think is going against Tevian Jones. It's going to be an important time to just take a big deep breath for the Mamba, get themselves situated right. Hey, they can be in control of the game if they just control the controllables.
Scotty Lindsay will shoot a couple of technical free throws now, and composure is not something that this team has really had an issue with this season. Even when they had that 0-4 start, this is really the first time, at least at home, that we've seen them kind of losing their composure a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes, unfortunately, winning tests different muscles, and this might be one of just trying to make sure that you stay humble, stay consistent, and don't overthink things too much.
Stingers now within just 2 points. Bandamel gets around the closeout. Long two, no good. Rebounded by Devontae Bandu. There's a guy who can stabilize things, a common presence on the floor for the Mamba. Bounce pass outside. Tavian Dunmartin hoists up the three. Too strong. Rebounded by Harding. Another look, but Bandu knocks it down as he continues to climb the ranks in the all-time three-point shot leaders in this league. We'll have more on that a little bit later in the broadcast. And now Marcus Harding is going to be whistled for a foul, his second. So we started this game talking about the Stingers bigs getting into some foul trouble, but now we've got Bediako with 3 and Harding with 2 for Saskatoon, and that kind of nullifies the effect of the Stingers foul trouble.
And one piece of good news here for the Mamba is how the officials chose to call the technical foul against Jaden Bediako. Because he actually subbed out, they called it as a bench technical, which will not result as a personal. So Jaden, fortunately for the Mamba, only has 2. Coach Fox won't be real pumped that that technical went against him, though.
Great note, appreciate that. All right, we're going to take a break here with 4:31 remaining in the second quarter, and the Mamba leading at 43-38. You're watching Canadian League Basketball League live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa. Thank you. That's my job. So you were saying...
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
The CEBL, Canada's Pro Basketball League, and redtag.ca brings Canadian basketball fans a chance to save up to $300 off on vacation bookings all season long with promo code CEBLFans. I wonder how our mascots would spend their time on vacation. Book today with Red Tag and save $300.
Redtag.ca.
Welcome back. 4:31 to play first half. The Mamba leading it by 5, but Nick Hornsby at the free throw line. Marcus Harding just picked up his second foul in the last sequence, but he's got a lot going on these days. Let's head it over to Katrin Hodson with more on that.
That's right. Marcus would have celebrated his first Father's Day this past Sunday as he is a new dad. He took some time away with his new baby boy, Mars, and his partner, Jayla. Mars was born May 30th to Marcus and Jayla at a healthy 9 pounds. Marcus says both mom and baby are doing very well. He's getting lots of photos and videos to keep him updated. And he says he, of course, misses his little baby boy so much, but that he's doing all of this for him.
Wonderful stuff, and yes, it does change the perspective. I'm sure you can relate to that, Eric. Fatherhood changes how you look at pretty much everything, right? Including basketball.
It's an amazing experience. We all love basketball, but I think we can all agree we love being fathers a little bit more.
I'm just an uncle, but I do love my nephews. It's not the same, but
it's still pretty great.
Tavian Dunmartin will go to the line here after the foul call. A bit of a scrappy kind of quarter here in this second, Eric, and not a lot of flow to it. And I think that favors the Stingers, does it not?
Absolutely. That's what the Stingers are wanting to do right now. They're just going to have to make this scrappy, make this game a little bit weird. And something that Mamba just can't be happy about is they only have 7 turnovers, but 5 of those turnovers have been preventable. 3 of those coming off inbounds, 2 other ones out of live ball scenarios. 6 points off turnover for Edmonton, while 0 for the Mamba. They're going to have to clean that up.
And Hornsby right around Harding to the cup. 5-point Mamba lead.
And this is where having the advantage of having a veteran like Nick Hornsby in the game, a guy who's not used to necessarily playing the 5 but can do that, and it's a really tough matchup for Marcus Harding.
Devontae Bandu called for the offensive foul. He sent Bandumel flying there. New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official replica jerseys now by visiting CEBL.ca. Davis, no good. Rebounded by the Mamba. Williams back out inside. Townsend. Good patience there by Trey Townsend, and he'll have a chance for an and one. Davis picking up the foul.
And after the quick early start by the Mamba, you can tell they're searching for some answers here. They've been really successful over their last couple games about going big, playing with their centers. Marcus Harding, Easton Tim, Jaden Bediako have all been big parts of that. Here, they actually chose to go small to match up with what the Stingers are doing.
Townsend completes the 3-point play. You mentioned him emerging as the season's gone on. His scoring numbers aren't nothing that you would call gaudy, but it's when he's found those buckets that have come at big times here for this team. A lot of fourth quarter scoring for Trey Townsend, but being asked to do a little bit more early here tonight. Foul this time, though, is on Mohamed Mahadi, who's into the game for the first time for Saskatoon. You can see the contact there on Davis. So Mo Mahadi, who did not see the floor last game in Ottawa.
Yeah, Mo had a great start to the season, filling some roles, especially as before Devontae Bandu got to the season. A veteran like Devontae gets here. That bench gets a little tighter, a little harder for a young guy to get some minutes in there, but he's been fighting hard. He's using this experience. He'll definitely grow from that.
Davis makes good. 48-42, Saskatoon leads. We've got 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this opening half. And Mahadi brings the ball up the floor. Townsend, Bandu, right elbow 3, off back iron, but a good offensive rebound. Unfortunately, thrown out of bounds by Jalen Williams. Davian Dunmartin wasn't maybe quite expecting that pass so quickly. Right idea for Williams, just the execution was off.
Right idea, wrong execution.
Aaron Rooms now. Looked like contact there, but no whistle, and now what a pass. Bandu able to regather and lay it home. What a pass there by Tavian Dunmartin. Back comes Davis, and he draws contact. Let's go back to that pass, because we've seen that now several times this season. Tavian Dunmartin's court vision on the break and his ability to thread the needle with those bounce passes is one of the best in the league.
Absolutely, and something he's improved on immensely. Last year was really known as a scorer when he played for Montreal, but his passing has been impressive this year. Looking at it from a different angle, getting guys involved. Even a lot of times at halftime, his scoring numbers are a little bit lower, but he's doing such a good job in the first half of getting others involved. He can pick his spots in the second half to still get his shots.
Well, it was funny talking with him earlier today, and when I asked him, you know, what's been the key to this success, we heard Katrin mention it, and immediately he answered Jaden Bediako, and he's downplaying his role because he's leading this team in both points and assists this season at 19-6. So clearly the straw that stirs the drink for this Mamba offense.
Well, and they're such a great combination together. Sometimes when you have a smaller guard, you worry about the defensive end of the floor, but Jaden's done a great job of sort of being that second layer of defense, while TDM's ability to space the floor is creating space inside for Jaden to do his work as well.
Bandu's 3 rims out. Fast break for Edmonton. Bandumel back over. Hornsby rejected. Bandu with the block there. Oh, Jalen Williams! Big two-handed flush. Bandu with the stop and the setup. And now Bandamel trying to silence the crowd. Rolls off the iron. And a lot of contact there as they battle for that rebound. The foul will go against Saskatoon.
But those are the extra efforts that the Mamba need. Last time down in transition, that looked like an absolute 3-on-1 break. That was going to be textbook. A great hustle back, block at the rim, leading to a dunk the other direction.
And I think we've seen through the first half of this season that Jalen Williams is the leading provider of those showstopper dunks. Devian Jones has a few on his ledger as well, but Jay Will, there's another bit of nastiness to his finishes at the rim.
And it just seems like he floats a little bit when he goes up there. Seems a little bit too easy. Even that last pass, I thought he was going to lay it in. Nope, he just kept on going.
Under 2 to play now in the half, and the Stingers have kept it tight. It's a 6-point game. A tightly contested second quarter. Bandu trying to work inside, lost the handle, but there's Mahadi back for Bandu. Swinging around, Tavian Dunn-Martin. Hornsby quickly on the closeout. TDM, though, still puts it up, can't finish. And now Bandamel rather, on the run up for Nuga. Finger roll, and he finishes it off. And Isaiah Fox wants a timeout here with 1:19 to go in the quarter. Saskatoon had a strong start to this game, but Stingers are giving them a real battle here, and Coach Fox wants to calm things down before this last 80 seconds.
Yeah, we've talked about how important it is all year to end quarters and to end halves well. For the most part, the Mamba have done that. They've been able to go on runs and make sure that they go into the halftime break with momentum.
Coming up at the half, we'll have a CEBL feature, The Next Chapter. Adika Peter McNeely. Katrin will interview Edmonton head coach Jordan Baker. We'll revisit the first half stats and Eric's players to watch.
I love this as we're looking into the Stingers timeout right here. Coach Jordan Baker trusts his staff. This is assistant coach Matt Skinn, head coach at Cape Breton University out east, taking lead of the huddle here. Must have something that he sees that he wants to run. Coach Baker's trusting his staff here to set them up going into this last minute.
And give the Stingers a ton of credit, as it didn't look great in the first 3 or 4 minutes for them, but they have really hung in and shown the Mamba that they're not going to back down from any challenge, and really that's kind of been the brand of this Stingers team, and led of course by their GM, president, and head coach. Toughness is kind of the #1 adjective when it comes to the Edmonton Stingers.
Yeah, and I think when people think of Jordan as a player as well, that's where it sort of rings true. He was a really tough player, did all the little dirty things in order to make a team successful. And I love what he's done today. He's changed it up. He's changed their pace from how they usually play. He's changed their defenses. He's just tried to make the Mamba uncomfortable. And sometimes the hardest thing to play against is the thing that you could not prepare for.
Tavian Dunn-Martin, who's had to change jerseys. I'm assuming his #7 got ripped. He's wearing 19 now for the Mamba. Empty trip, though, for Saskatoon, and Bandamel continues to light it up here in the first half. He's really been the offensive engine for Edmonton, who are now back within 2 in the final minute of the half. Dunn-Martin looking for Gordon. He wasn't looking for the pass, and now Lindsay can easily lay it up and in to tie it at 52.
There's a level of disconnect from the Mamba right now. They're just not all on the same page of how they're looking to attack this defense. It's tough when it's an unconventional lineup. It'll be something they'll really want to talk about here at halftime.
Gordon, Euro step, pulls up, short on the shot, and the Stingers can now take the lead. High up to Davis. Alley-oop for the late lead.
Great pass by Nick Hornsby. From half court, he just put it right up there. Baz went up and got it.
And Hornsby knocks the ball away from Tavian Dunn-Martin, who is fed up. And he gets attacked, the 3rd in this opening half for Saskatoon. And those are things you just can't do in situations like these. He just gave Edmonton a chance to shoot a free throw with less than a second left on the clock. And Lindsay takes advantage of that opportunity. Jordan Baker wants a timeout, see if they can draw up a little magic late in the half, but take me inside that Mamba locker room at halftime here, Eric. What do you think the conversation is going to be like, and what do you think they're going to need to adjust to deal with this energetic and tough Stingers team?
I think Coach Fox is just going to be honest with them. They know what they've done wrong. We kind of saw this with the Ottawa game about a week ago. It's about energy and effort and focusing on the wrong thing. They got off to a hot start because they were sharing the ball, because they were playing defense, because they really were taking it to the Stingers, and they've allowed sort of individualism to take over the importance of the team here. And that's led to defense, that's led to unforced turnovers, that's allowed the Stingers to really find their footing. And now that they know how to attack the Mamba, it's only going to get more difficult to put them away.
So Edmonton leading at 55-52, and we'll see what Jordan Baker has on his whiteboard for this one. Of course, that's enough time just barely to get a catch and release, but you're thinking they're looking for something at the rim here off the inbound?
Something at the rim for sure, but an interesting thing here, that technical has sort of resounding complications because they had already intended to inbound the ball. Jordan Baker was not looking to call this timeout. It would have just gone to half and the Mamba would have had a chance to group. Instead, they gave up a free throw. They gave up Jordan the opportunity to draw something up here. We'll see if it pays off.
Now Edmonton can't advance the ball, so they do have to inbound from the backcourt. So this will be quite the highlight if they can make it happen, but Isaiah Fox is still talking to the referees. A half-court shot for Nuga. Oh my goodness! And that kind of sums up this second quarter. Edmonton with all the momentum, 0.7 on the clock, and Mike Nuga gets an open look from half, and he is lethal. And he makes it a 6-point Stingers lead after 20 minutes of play. The Mamba need to go back to the drawing board. And the Stingers, they're feeling good right now, Eric.
Yeah, the Mamba have to be really upset by that. They only had 4 players on the court there for that last possession. Something went wrong in that timeout, but again, it was focusing on the wrong things.
All right, well, Emmanuel Bandumel had a solid first half, and he is now standing by with Katrin Hodson.
All right, Emmanuel, down 8 points going into that second quarter. Obviously a big shift. What made the difference?
I mean, it was just about us locking in, you know, taking care of, like, the details because, you know, Sask is a pretty talented team. So, like, if you pay attention to the scout, we pay attention to the details defensively, we can get stuff done, and that's what we did.
Do you think you saw a big improvement in your team defensively in that second quarter versus the first quarter?
We sure did. I mean, at the same time, it's a lot of guys coming in, a lot of new guys. You know, we're getting to know each other, how to play off of each other. And, you know, I think it's coming along a little bit. So we still working at it, but we just want to care about it, so that's where we go from.
What's going to be your focus going into that second half, Emmanuel?
Defense and rebounds. Defense and rebounds. That's what it's been to get back in the game, and that's what it's going to take to finish it.
All right, thanks so much. Good luck in the second half. Back to you, Ryan.
Emmanuel Bandumel with 17 points to lead all scorers in that first half. And the Edmonton Stingers taking it to the Mamba in the second quarter, outscoring them by 14 points in the frame. Halftime here at the Snake Pit. Lots still to come. Stick around. We've got great stuff coming up for you in the half. You're watching the Canadian Elite Basketball League live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Do you have a hidden talent? No hidden talent. No hidden talent. Coaching. There you go. Coaching. It could be coaching.
I mean, playing in the league since 2019, I mean, been around from the beginning. I kind of felt like, you know, I could see myself as a coach in this league. So every summer I was just like, you know, kind of transition to more of a leadership role and then kind of go from there. And then my last season playing, I'm like, you know what, I can see myself as an assistant coach in this league.
I mean, Deeks has always been a great leader and a real mature teammate who's about the right things. And you know, just to see him sort of blossom into that coaching role has been really fun to see. And obviously I coached him here with the Stingers, and you know, if I could have 12 Adika Peter McNeely's on the floor, I would love it. You know, just he's about the right things. He works hard, he cares about his teammates, and he's a hell of a player, hell of a person. Yeah, I think, his skill set as a coach is very unique. He really relates to players. He has a ton of international experience as a professional, so he has lots of knowledge and perspective to provide to some of these younger players. And so, at this level, he does a great job connecting with players in ways that I don't as the head guy. And then you look at his ability to connect with his players at Nate as well. I think, he's just such a personable person that people want to get behind and follow, and that's going to make his voice even more powerful in the locker room.
You just get to know the person, For me, it's just always about relationships and kind of connecting with the guys. So I kind of take the basketball away from it, because at the end of the day, you're only spending 2-3 hours in the gym, like who you are as a person outside of it. So for me, it's just kind of getting to know the person, get to know their families, why they're playing basketball, and from there, you just build those relationships. It's amazing, to see where we came from 2019 to where we are now. And I mean, the growth has been amazing, the fan support, everything for the athlete experience. So now it's just kind of, again, the next generation of players, the next wave for the future years to come, and just make it bigger and better. During the time, we didn't know what was going on. We were just playing basketball, having fun with it and whatever happens. And now able to look back at it and seeing what we've done, winning back-to-back championships and try to get back to that marker. For me, it's just doing whatever's possible, If I have to come in and help somebody rebound, or sometimes, it's just kind of being there and supportive in any aspect, I'm willing to do that. Me and Jordan go way back. I mean, it's been amazing, winning championships together. And I'm obviously my last year, he was the coach and I'm the player. And now we're back. We're on the sideline together, but now we're quarter zip in the suit and tie. I mean, it's amazing. That's what basketball's about. It's about the relationships you build. And just seeing his path and my path and how we just kind of weaved in and out with each other. And it's kind of like a full circle moment. I mean, I just want to win at the highest level. I just want to be the best version of myself. Everyone tries to run the same race for me, and my race is a little different, and I'm patient. I just want to get better as a coach. I'm still young. I'm still learning a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of mentors that are helping me all the way. So I just kind of take it one season at a time and try and just find the beauty of that.
Do you see yourself one day becoming a head coach in the CEBL?
Honestly, I would love to do it one day, but like I said, right now I'm just happy in the process right now. I'm happy with my role, being here with the guys and just learning. I think that's the beauty of it, just learning. And then once that day comes, hopefully it comes, but, I'm just ready whenever.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun, or in the heat of the moment, when climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Score! Big savings on parking at YEG. Use promo code STINGERS to save 20% on airport parking with Jet Set Parking. Affordable parking just minutes from the terminal. Book online at jetsetparking.com/YEG and use code STINGERS to save. Level up your game. Jet Set Parking has partnered with Edmonton International Airport for their new loyalty program, YEG Plus. Jet Set Parking at YEG Plus, a winning way to start your vacation.
Welcome back inside the Snake Pit. Halftime underway after a monster third quarter. Edmonton Stingers scoring 36 points in the period as they now lead the Saskatoon Mamba 58-52. Eric, let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. What stood out to you?
Just a tale of two halves within a half. Right there. Mamba get out to a great start, sharing the ball, really moving well with a really good plan, and then kind of lose track of who they are and who they've been this entire season. Credit to the Stingers, though. They changed their pace, they changed their defensive strategy, and they came out with a renewed effort. And that really got under the Mamba's skin, and they kind of self-imploded.
Yeah, and a milestone half as well as we continue to look at some of the big plays. Nick Hornsby, 5 assists in that first half. And he's now passed Deng Adel for 5th all-time in the CEBL as we take the right on cue. There's one of his lovely dimes as he has done a little bit of everything. Another one to Emmanuel Banuel, who had a monster half in the scoring department. And we can see right there some of those assists. Hornsby, who can do a little bit of everything, in fact, a lot of everything if you really give him that credit. And passing Degadel, that's a big milestone. Degadel, no slouch, of course, some great years with the Ottawa Blackjacks. And now Nick Hornsby, 5th all-time in assists in the CEBL. As we now move on to look at some of the stats from the first half. And what jumps out right there, the three-point percentage good for the Mamba, but it's some of the numbers behind the numbers. You know, they're out rebounding the Stingers 25-16, but there's some other numbers that are maybe a little more alarming when it comes to the Mamba side of things.
Yeah, when you look a little deeper in the stat sheets, 12 turnovers by the Mamba is not going to be good. That's leading to 12 points from turnovers, and so many of those turnovers have been unforced. But probably the most surprising stat of all is points in the paint. Coming into this game, we would have said the Mamba have an absolute advantage in the paint with their big men and the lack of size over with the Stingers. But the score is 32-18 for points in the paint. Advantage to the Stingers, so credit to them. They're moving the ball, they're getting the ball in the paint, and they're absolutely collapsing the defense and making it difficult for the Mamba.
So halftime adjustments still to come. We've got more on the other side of this break. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Sports, GEM, and CEBL Plus.
All right, sticks in the middle.
Can I join you guys? All right, let's go.
Whether it's on the ice or on our app, always play for the fun of the game. Gamble responsibly with Play Alberta.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa, thanks.
That's my job.
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
redtag.ca.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa. Thank you. That's my job. So you were saying?
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back. The players back out on the floor with a few minutes to go until second half action, and we'll send it over now to Katrin Hodson, who's standing by with Edmonton head coach and GM Jordan Baker. Oh, looks like we're not quite ready there. We're just getting our things all switched on here, but we'll just stand by for a moment here on that interview as the players warm up. And now it looks like we are ready to chat with Jordan Baker.
Yes, that's right. Okay, Jordan, quite the comeback for your team in that second quarter. How are you feeling?
Like we got a lot of work to do still.
Okay, what kind of work?
Well, we got to continue to try to turn them over. You know, they only had 2 turnovers in the first quarter, and that put us at a little bit of a disadvantage. So staying active, you know, we got to clean the glass. Bediako is going to be back in the second half, so we know we got to make sure we're aware of where he is on the floor all times, and you know, try to get out in transition once we get some stops.
What do you think your team did right in that second quarter versus that first quarter that you want them to keep doing?
Yeah, I think we played really unselfish basketball. You know, we got to the basket, we got high-quality shots, and then we tried to put 5 guys in front of it, make them have to execute in the half court.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Thanks very much. Back to you, Ryan.
Thanks very much, Katrin and Jordan. And yeah, the Stingers defense forcing the Mamba into 10 turnovers in that second quarter to reinforce Coach Baker's point. All right, Eric, you focused on some players to watch before the game. Let's look back at that. How did they do in the first half?
Yeah, it was an impactful half for both of them in their own ways. Jaden came out of the gate strong, scoring 9 points and having 6 rebounds there in that first quarter, but then sort of lost composure, lost himself, and had to sit for so much of that second quarter they wasn't able to have the same impact. Whereas Nick Hornsby's been the glue guy. They really found something when they had to move Nick Hornsby to 5 due to foul trouble. He got to play on the perimeter, had 6 big assists, pardon me, in that first half, and was really a difficult matchup for the Mamba bigs.
All right, as we're getting down close to third quarter time, just a real interesting 2 different quarters we saw here, Eric. And I'll be really curious to see if the Mamba have been able to press that reset button there at the half. In your experience, you know, what is the key to being able to do that? Do you need a player in the room to step up as well and try to deliver a message, or does it need to come from the head coach?
I think it's a little bit of both. Obviously, you love when your teams are player-led, and it's finding that composure within the coach. I know for me, I found whenever I got excited, that was never a benefit for my team. So sometimes it's just being open and honest with them, having that relationship where you can say, hey guys, we recognize that we messed up in that second quarter. The good part about basketball is it's a 4-quarter game, so we got 2 quarters here to figure it out.
So Emmanuel Bandamel, obviously the scoring leader in that first 20 minutes of play. What has he been doing to get so open, and how did the Mamba contain him here in the second half?
One of the tough things about having to try to guard the Stingers and how Jordan Baker gets his teams to play is they have so much movement off the ball. He's gotten a couple easy dunks in transition. He's gotten a couple easy dunks off of movement and back screens away from the ball that are just different actions that the Mamba haven't had to guard as much. This is a very ball-dominant, ball-screen-heavy league. The Stingers choose to play a different way, and there's not a ton of time to prepare for all these different ways to play.
Well, here's a fun fact for you. As we mentioned off the hop, that Edmonton came into tonight having lost 3 straight games. In their entire existence, they have never lost 4 in a row within one season. The last time they had a 3-game losing skid was 2 seasons ago, and they snapped it right here against the then Saskatchewan Rattlers. So the Stingers looking to avoid some dubious franchise history and prevent the Mamba from matching their their longest winning streak in franchise history, which was 5 games, capped with a win against Edmonton back in 2019. So the histories are so intertwined between these 2 teams, but I just think it is a real statement on the consistent competitiveness of this Stingers franchise, the fact that they have never lost more than 3 straight games.
Yeah, they've been the gold standard. The trophy's named after one of their former players. It's who they are. I was very happy to be a part of the organization early in my career and learn from a great coach in Jermaine Smalls, and they've sort of just been able to ring true and transition that over into Jordan, and he's led this organization to continue that success.
Well, let's see how the story develops here in the second half as we're underway. Ryan Flaherty, Eric Magdans, Katrin Hodson with you from Saskatoon, and Jaden Bediako back into the game. Gets a couple of attempts but can't get the shot to fall. And now Mason Boursier with it for Hornsby. Driving, runs into 2, but soft touch will roll over the front rim. And the Stingers now lead by 8. Tevian Jones, guarded by Bandamel, trying to work inside, and a tie-up. And of course, here in FIBA rules, that means possession arrow, and it's in favor of the Stingers.
You can tell that Coach Fox is halftime talk has permeated into this group, though. After that call, everybody just ran away. I didn't see a single mouth move.
Yep, just play basketball is probably the big message, right? Bandumel, three-pointer, no. Boursier gets the rebound. Bandumel with another chance. And once again, no good, but Tavian Dunmartin bails out that loose ball battle. Now Jones. Trey King back in to start the half. That contest will keep the shot short. And now Hornsby for King on the run. He draws the foul against Jalen Williams. And that's number 3 on Jay Will.
And you like to see that the Mamba have moved their aggression away from the officials and back into the basketball game here, but they got to change their effort and they got to change their energy right now. They got to pick up their heads, pick up their shoulders, and get back to playing basketball.
You made a comment in the first half about Edmonton's gang rebounding, sort of team rebounding, and it was really illustrated by the halftime stats with several players with 2 apiece and a couple with 3, but it's really everyone on the floor in yellow that has been going for those rebounds, and a big reason why they have now a 10-point lead. .40 start to this second half for the visitors. Tavian Dunmartin. Bediako as they try to get something going on that far side. Back out for Bandu. Three-pointer is good. Devontae Bandu's second triple of the game. We'll see if that has a calming impact on the Mamba. Hornsby slings it to the far corner. Bandumel. Bandu right there. Bandumel gets inside. Kick out into the corner. Boursier back out for King. He'll hoist a 3. Short. There's Bandumel on the glass. Back for Lindsay. Three-pointer is good. Scotty Lindsay with his third 3 of the evening.
One of the worst things about giving up offensive rebounds, they often lead to 3-point shots. They often lead to great 3-point shots.
Dunmartin, no. And the ball batted out of bounds. Last touched by the Mamba. Scotty Lindsay now with 12 points after that 3-pointer. 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Trey King over to Lindsay. Now King stepped back, had a foot on the line. That's a long 2, but it doesn't drop. Jones takes a look, attacking the paints, and a reach-in foul here. Jones taking matters into his own hands. As we sort out who that one's against, it'll be Bandumel. Picking up his second of the night. This Western Conference game is presented by Cal Tire. And yes, the first of a home and home, as these teams will meet again this weekend on the 28th in Edmonton. Williams for Tavian Dunmartin. Corner 3 is good. I'm sure the Mamba fans would like to see him start to make a few more of those here in this second half. 7-point Stingers lead. Lindsay cut off at the baseline. Turnaround Jay. No. And Bediako with the board.
It's about stringing good possessions together here for the Mamba. Great couple offensive last couple possessions, great defensive. That's going to just lead into a good shot here by Tevian Jones.
And suddenly the Mamba getting back to their bread and butter. They are the top 3-point shooting team. Second in percentage, but number 1 in makes per game. But Edmonton, they've got a few great snipers of their own, and there's Trey King answering right back. We've got ourselves a shooting contest here to start the third quarter, and tangled up in the paint. Lindsay's going to pick up the foul there. That's his second of the game.
Wide, take it out, DB Porter. Wide, go get him, Bediako.
15 on the shot clock. Tavian Dunmartin. Drive, and Lindsay picks up another one. 2 quick fouls on Scotty Lindsay. And that'll put the shot clock back to 14 seconds with the side out of bounds here for Saskatoon.
And the Mamba have been far more aggressive here in this quarter. That's 3 fouls already here on the Stingers. They get them into bonus. Again, they have the ability to control the tempo once they get there.
So again, if you're just joining us late, Tavian Dunmartin had to change jerseys in the first half. He's now wearing number 19 in those Prism uniforms, they call them. Jones contested, and guess who? 3 fouls in about 15 seconds for Scotty Lindsay, who is in a little bit of disbelief over there. He's got 4 and a wry grin on his face as he heads to the bench.
Yeah, tough one there. Credit to Tevian. He's been aggressive coming out of the locker room here. They've needed to get a spark. They needed some energy. He's been the guy to provide it so far.
Tevian Jones had 8 points in the first half, but looking, as you said, more determined to get to the cup here in the third quarter. He makes the first of 2. A productive trip to the line for Tevian Jones, and the Mamba within 5. 68-63 Edmonton as we approach the midway point of quarter number 3. Hornsby pulls up short, and a one-handed rebound by Jones. Quickly up for Williams, step back 3, it's good! And Jordan Baker wants to talk things over. The Mamba look a lot more focused and a lot calmer here to start this half, Eric.
Yeah, they're focusing on the right things. Doing little things on the defensive end, little switch to zone there for that last possession. That's leading to giving a little more confidence offensively.
2-point Edmonton lead as we take a break. You're watching the Canadian Elite Basketball League live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
All right, sticks in the middle. Can I join you guys? All right, let's go.
Whether it's on the ice or on our app, always play for the fun of the game. Gamble responsibly with Play Alberta.
Back inside the Snake Pit, 5:36 to play third quarter, and the Mamba have come out. Took a couple of minutes to get back into their rhythm here in this third quarter, Eric, but now they're starting to really find their spots, especially from beyond the arc.
Yeah, it's the old coach's adage. We want shots to go in, but often the best way to get shots to go in is to play hard and do the little things, and somehow that magically means more of your shots are going to go in the basket. That's what the Mamba are experiencing right now.
3 players now in double figures for Saskatoon, led by Jalen Williams, who has 11 on 4 of 4 from the field. Turnover here, and Williams defers to Jones inside, and he draws contact in the lane. And it looks like Hornsby is going to pick up this foul.
That all starts right there on the defensive end by TM, making sure he's in this gap lane, getting a hand in there. That's leading to the Mamba getting out in transition. Tevian Jones is just the benefactor of that.
That's the first foul on Nick Hornsby tonight, and Tevian Jones back to the line. He's one of those Mamba in double figures now, also with, pardon me, I missed him. There's 4 in double figures. He's now got 14. Way down there at the bottom of the stat sheet, Eric. Sometimes I miss him. So he's tied it up now, 68-68, midway through the third. Jones with 15 to lead the Mamba. Davis over for Donald. 3 High off the glass, no, and Bediako hauls in the board. Williams now on the bounce. Step back, look for Jones, but Hornsby with a good closeout. Bandu takes it over. He's gonna pull up from distance and battle underneath the basket. It looks like Trey King is gonna pick up his fourth as he sent Bediako to the floor.
And again, we're back in bonus. Mamba can control the pace. They're battling hard here, getting 2 free throws here for Jaden Bediako. And on that last possession, you gotta love the composure. We've been talking about composure and how the Mamba lost that in the second quarter. Tevian Jones has had a strong start to this third quarter. Had an opportunity for a step back 3 early in the clock, gave it up, gets a better shot, and leads to an offensive rebound foul where they're now at the line.
Well, and the other thing that has been really a significant piece of this run that the Mamba have been on is that piece that Isaiah Fox has talked about, where you kind of let the game decide who's going to lead the way. Anyone on the floor can do the damage, and that presents a real challenge for opposing defenses, and the Mamba are kind of getting back to that more democratic distribution of the basketball here.
Yeah, they've done a great job of that throughout the season, and that was the challenge they had with the Stingers there in the second quarters. You didn't know who was going to attack them. They were all there, all willing, and that posed the challenge for the Mamba.
So Saskatoon back in front by 1. But Hornsby gives the Stingers the lead again with a lovely touch from the baseline.
Trust the veteran to settle it down when you need it.
Jones for 3, no. Rebounded by Mike Nuga. Up ahead for Boz Davis Jr. Hornsby back and forth. Now Davis spots up, open look, that's good. And a nice answer here out of the timeout by the Stingers. Back in front by 4. Liking what we're seeing here from Boz Davis Jr.
Yeah, some guys just move differently. You can tell he's a great athlete. He sort of bounds up the floor, floats with it, change of direction. He's done a great job of getting other guys involved, and now he's shooting the ball as well.
Tavian Dunn-Martin's 3 won't go, and looks like this foul is gonna go against Bediako over the back a little bit as he was reaching for that rebound. That'll be his 3rd. Staying in for now, Trey Townsend checks in. He'll replace Tevian Jones for the Mamba. Stingers leading at 73-69, 3.5 to go in quarter number 3. Hornsby back out, Donald moves it around, Davis gets it back, slashing inside, and throws it out of bounds. Looked like it went off of Williams, but the officials did not see it that way.
And it changed this year in the league as there's no replay. Coaches can't challenge. We're just playing with how the official calls it.
Yeah, you might see players occasionally making the signal, but sometimes it's just a muscle memory, and sometimes they don't realize that. We don't have those this year. Turned over by the Mamba. Donald high off the glass and in. And a 7-0 run by Edmonton after falling behind, back in front by 6.
Yeah, Tate Donald, another youth sport guy who grew up here in the CEBL as a pro from Laurier University. Just had his first professional season overseas in Finland, had a great professional season.
Strong bucket there by Jaden Bediako, and he'll get a chance at 3. And he is now once again into that double-double territory, as Tavian Dunn-Martin says, we call him Mr. Double-Double. And he's had a lot of those since getting onto the floor this season. 2nd in the league, averaging just over 10 rebounds and over 15 points. He's putting himself into that early Canadian Player of the Year conversation here in the CEBL. He's among the top 4 in both those categories among Canadian players. We've got a foul here against Saskatoon. That's on Dejuan Gordon. So Boz Davis Jr. at the line. Aaron Rooms is going to check in for Edmonton. Devontae Bandu as well for Saskatoon. Make it 5 Stingers now in double figures. Again, Well-distributed scoring. Davis, though, no good on the first free throw. 50% on the season coming in from the charity stripe. But this time, it comes up empty. And it remains a 3-point Stingers lead. No shortage of points in this one. Tavian Dunn-Martin, drive, kick, Bediako gently lays it in.
Great job by TDM. He got so deep. He forced the defense to have to commit. Great dump off.
And Donald right back at the other end with a nice mid-range jumper from the baseline. Bandu now. Outside, Tavian Dunn-Martin, 3, no. Another whistle. And you can tell by the reactions from the guys in yellow, this is on Edmonton, and it's Isaac Jack who picks up his 4th. So that's 4 on both of the Stingers' bigs with still 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. But it was when those guys got in foul trouble in the first half that they started to hum. So maybe a case of be careful what you wish for Saskatoon here.
Yeah, Coach Fox might ask them to rescind one of those at some point here.
Bediako no good on the first free throw. Bediako now up at 15 points, 11 rebounds. Make it 16 and 11. Right on his season averages with still a quarter and change to go. So even though he's in a bit of an ill temper tonight, he's still producing at the same rates.
And this is the lineup from the Stingers that hurt the Mamba there in the first half. They got 5 guys who can really score it, and they have a big in Hornsby who can really pass it. That's a tough combo.
And Donald and Davis combined for the deuce right there. Stingers lead by 4. His target score is going to be well over 100 tonight, Eric. Marcus Harding, extra pass, and another one for Bandu. Sidestep 3. Nothing but nylon. And Devontae Bandu, who told me last week he's still trying to find his rhythm. Looks like he's starting to get there, but now he commits the foul. No, pardon me, they're going to call that on Harding.
And one of the best stats that you told me before the game, Ryan, was that Mike Nuga, who we knew here from the Rattlers as being a really explosive player, a guy who attacks the paint, has not shot a free throw yet this season. His first time to the line right now. Here we go.
There it is for Mike Nuga. Yeah, pretty surprising, but he is generally known as a perimeter shooter. But still, for a guy who has averaged nearly 18 minutes a game and has played, 9 of the 10 here for Edmonton, that's pretty shocking. Those are his first 2 free throws of the season. Gordon runs into resistance. Back comes Donald. And Tay Donald coming alive offensively here in this third quarter, providing some juice for the Stingers. Edmonton leads it by 4 as we enter the final minute of the third. Jamal Fuller out for the first time since the opening quarter. Gordon pull up long 2, off back iron, rebounded by Davis. Takes a look and missed Nuga with the pass. As they compare notes on the walk back down the floor. I think Nuga wanted a bounce pass there.
Yeah, and I think Baz thought he was going to flare out there to the corner for the 3. Little miscommunication there. That's just guys not necessarily getting to know each other quite as well.
Come see the new chapter of professional basketball in Saskatoon. Tickets available by scanning the QR code or by visiting saskatoonmamba.ca/tickets. As Dejuan Gordon gets a bucket. It's a 2-point game with 30 seconds left in the quarter. Davis thought about a shot, now backs out. Bandumel, who's been held off the scoreboard in this third quarter, inside for Hornsby. Nice pass there by Emmanuel Bandumel to Nick Hornsby.
Mamba got caught in mismatch in transition there. Harding got stuck on Bandumel. Took a while for the Stingers to find it, but then they took advantage.
Dunn-Martin short on the 3. Last chance here for Edmonton. Nuga sprinting down the floor, and Nuga does it again at the buzzer. Not as dramatic as the half-court heave at the end of the second, but still 2 points added to the Edmonton lead, which now sits at 6 after 3 quarters of play. So the Stingers maintaining their advantage in the third. Stay tuned, big finish coming up. You're watching the Canadian Elite Basketball League live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
Did you know that every CEBL game ends on a game-winning bucket? Yep, every single one. That's because we use something called target score ending, a thrilling twist that keeps fans locked in till the final shot. So what is the target score ending? Here's how it works. The first time the clock stops with 4 minutes or less left in the fourth quarter, the game clock is turned off. We enter target score time. We take the leading team's score, add 9 points, and that becomes the target score. Let's say it's 91-80. That means the first team to hit 100 wins. No ticking clock, no intentional fouls, just pure clutch basketball. It's fast, it's electric, and it guarantees that every game ends with a bang. Experience the target score ending this CEBL season.
Welcome back to Saskatoon. Time now to take a look at the cruise of the game presented by Cal Tire. And it's Boz Davis Jr., the oop to Nick Hornsby's alley. Lovely finish there. And you got to run the floor to do that. Boz Davis Jr., our cruise of the game presented by Cal Tire. Stingers leading at 86-80 as we begin the fourth quarter. So the Mamba did battle back and briefly take the lead in that third. But again, Eric, the Stingers able to find some equilibrium and restore that lead that they had at the half.
Yeah, and when they went small with Hornsby at the 5, it really ended up changing the dynamics of that quarter. We went back to Jaden Debediako here to start the fourth quarter. We'll see if that can have an impact, sort of neutralize Hornsby's effect.
Katrin Hodson was listening in on the Mamba huddle in that break, so let's head it over to her and see what she heard.
Well, Coach Fox's main message in that huddle was don't overcomplicate it, don't over dribble. We've been here before on the road against some very difficult teams. Communication is the key. Start on the defensive side and activate yourselves. That was his last piece of advice before they hit the court.
Thank you, Katrin. Yes, this is familiar territory for this Mamba team. Of course, they'd prefer not to be in it, but they are comfortable in these situations, as we have seen. Edmonton, your summer plans just got serious. Join us for multiple special edition theme nights throughout the season. Purchase today at thestingers.ca/tickets.
An interesting thing here we're going to have to watch for the Stingers going into the fourth quarter is foul trouble. Their bigs obviously have foul trouble. They've got foul. Scotty Lindsay also has 4. How are they going to manage that? When does Coach Baker choose to bring some of those guys back, especially when they've had a lot of success with some of these different lineups?
Hornsby rattles it home. And Nick Hornsby really is stabilizing this Stingers team. Corner 3, Townsend is good. Trey Townsend with his second 3 of the night, cutting the deficit to 3. Now Davis trying to work inside, but Bediako providing too much resistance that time. Gordon now right back the other way. Count the bucket, and there's a foul, and that'll send Dejuan Gordon to the line with a chance to tie the game.
You gotta love the confidence that Trey Townsend has in his shot right now. On that last pass, he was trying to shoot it before he even caught the ball. It was in his hand for a split second. Next possession here, running down in transition, his hands up. He's wanting guys to search him out.
And Gordon, one of those Mamba players in double figures. Although he misses the second, he's up to 14 on the night. Three-point try, Nuga, no good. Jamal Fuller with the rebound. We've seen him provide a spark off the bench in fourth quarters this season. Jones thought about a three, and then the pass blocked. Turnover here. Hornsby behind the back. Rooms puts it in. And Nick Hornsby doing everything for Edmonton. Jones nearly lost the handle, gets it back, and that's a sweet stroke by Tevian Jones. High octane offense here on this Wednesday night in Saskatoon. Stingers lead it 90-89. Bandamel, two-man action. Hornsby +1.
It's been a number of two-man actions with Hornsby and Bandamel tonight. It's generally led to good things for the Stingers, whether that be a pull-up jumper or Hornsby rolling to the rim. It's created a ton of action, a ton of movement for the Stingers.
So Nick Hornsby to the line. You missed it at halftime. Nick Hornsby in the first half, moving into 5th place all-time in the CEBL assist list. That is regular season and playoffs combined. And he completes that. It's a 93-89 lead for Edmonton. Gordon now working on Boursier. Hornsby comes with the help, forces an awkward shot, and now fast break for Nuga. Lets the man blow by, misses the bunny, and the rebound won't go either. Fuller rips down the rebound. Jamal Fuller now racing down the floor. Contact before the shot, and Mike Nuga's gonna pick up the foul.
One of the strengths of Gordon's game is he's always aggressive, he's always looking to attack, but as he sort of grows and continues to go, he's still a very young player here. He's gonna be able to pick his spots a little better, continue to find his teammates. We've seen that growth from other guys in this league. Now he's having the opportunity to have the ball in his hands a whole lot. It's a great opportunity for him to learn how to do that.
Tevian Jones. And more contact. They're going to count that one, though. Three-point play opportunity for Tevian Jones as Hornsby is whistled for the foul. Third of the night on the Stingers captain. Gordon, Bediako, Fuller, Jones, and Townsend out right now for Saskatoon. It's Boursier, Nuga, Bandumel, Hornsby, and Aaron Rooms for the Stingers. And Jones makes the free throw. It's a one-point game.
Little zone possession here for the Mamba, trying to change it up, give the Stingers a different look.
That leaves Bandumel wide open, but he can't hit the three. Emmanuel Bandumel, who had the hot hand in the first half, can't buy a bucket here in the second. Jones into the corner. Fuller driving baseline. Swings it over to Gordon. Fake shot as Bandumel closed him out, and then he throws it away. Bandumel with the disruption. Rooms to Hornsby. Behind the back, Bandumel. Hits around the closeout. Good interior defense by the Mamba, but a better shot by Hornsby. And Nick Hornsby has been all over it here tonight. Now 21 points, along with 4 rebounds and 8 assists. And another foul, and that's going to put the Mamba into the bonus with 6:55 on the game clock.
Yeah, the aggression of the Mamba coming out here in the fourth quarter. 3 minutes in, you're already in bonus the rest of the way. You can really control this. They need to stay aggressive. Something that happened in the third quarter is they lost that aggressiveness as the quarter went on. Stay aggressive, keep forcing the issue. We know the Stingers have foul trouble. You got to keep taking it to them.
That last foul against Emmanuel Bandumel, and it is the 5th team foul, as I mentioned, here for the Stingers. So that really changes the complexion of things, potentially. Gordon at the line. So he takes a look up at the scoreboard here inside SaskTel Center. Back in the original home for this one, but more games still to come this season inside Merlis Belcher Place. What a great experience that was last week. And of course, the Mamba capped it off with a comeback win over the Ottawa Blackjacks and then did the exact same thing to the Blackjacks 6 days later. But right now, they're in a heavyweight tilt here with the Stingers. Bandumel for 3, and that's good. First points of the half for Emmanuel Bandumel coming up big time for Edmonton.
Yeah, the Mamba are playing with fire with this zone action. Every single time the Stingers are coming down, they're getting great shots out of that zone defense. They're not always going in, but they're getting great shots, and that's never a good recipe.
And Bediako settling for the outside shot there, but it comes up empty. Nuga, quick trigger, no good. And Stingers win the rebound battle. Bandumel now into the corner for Hornsby. Quick first step inside, and my, oh my, Nick Hornsby.
I love that when he ran down the court, even he was impressed with that move.
There were so many different skills on display on that one play, and Nick Hornsby, he's got the full package. Gordon now, bounce pass, Bediako stripped underneath, and Nuga comes away with the basketball, looking to add to a 6-point lead. Boursier finds Hornsby, extra pass, Bandumel lays it in, and Isaiah Fox wants a timeout for Saskatoon. They were within 1, but it's a scoring burst here by the Stingers, 7 straight for an 8-point advantage. And Nick Hornsby, we've been talking about him a lot here tonight, and with good reason. And now here's some of his handiwork here tonight, Eric.
Yeah, he's been an absolute gem here for the Stingers tonight, doing everything they need. Every single time we think the Mamba are about to go on a run, he settles it down, gets them into great action, and has hit a number of big shots. Not known as a scorer throughout his career, much more of a facilitator and a glue guy, but he's stepped up, been that veteran presence they've needed tonight, filled a bunch of different roles to get them through this foul trouble. And this move right there was an absolute beauty.
I don't know what was more impressive, the footwork, the finish. There was a whole bunch there to like about that play. Nick Hornsby, 23 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. One of 2 Stingers with 20, as Bandumel's got 22 now.
And one of the most impressive stats for me is he's a plus 12. When he's on the floor, the Stingers are winning this game. When he's off the floor, they are not.
Tavian Dunmartin, meanwhile, with just 5 points so far tonight for Saskatoon. Now, the Mamba do have 5 players in double figures, so it's even more surprising, perhaps, that he's not part of that group. Now, he does have 8 assists, and we should mention, we've been talking about Hornsby's assist milestone as TDM has passed the 200 career assists mark tonight, but you wonder if he's going to start looking to fire up a couple more shots here in the late going, as we're down to a minute and a half until we hit that target score threshold. Fuller, tough finish underneath for Jamal Fuller, and a nice bit of work out of the timeout for Saskatoon. Boursier, good crossover, high off the glass, no, but guess who's on the board? It's Nick Hornsby with a little flex. After that, second chance bucket. Now Townsend, show and go, kicks it out. Jones for 3, no, Bediako make that Fuller up there. Looked like Bediako going up high for that rebound. And he draws a foul in the process. And it's on Emmanuel Bandumel.
And we've seen this from Fuller in a number of different games. Comes in and can just provide an absolute spark. Mamba didn't really have momentum going out of that timeout. He's come in, got a big bucket last play, offensive rebound, puts him at the line.
That's 4 on Bandumel, so 3 different Stingers with 4 fouls apiece, including Isaac Jack and Trey King, who, as I say that, Jack set to check in along with Scotty Lindsay for Edmonton. We haven't seen Trey King since early in the third quarter when he picked up that 4th foul. But again, it's this smaller lineup that's really done the bulk of the damage tonight for Edmonton. 6-point game with just under a minute remaining until we hit that 4-minute mark, that magic hour.
And an interesting lineup here for the Stingers. Not a lot of guards scoring on the floor. It'll be interesting to see sort of how they choose to sort of create it. If Mike Nuga can sort of become that focal point ball handler for them.
But he gives it to Hornsby here, and that does seem like a good choice no matter what the situation tonight for Edmonton. Hornsby hands it off, but Jack fumbles the bag and then comes up short. Fuller sees a little daylight. He's going to attack the big man. Oh, and a late whistle there. And is this going to be the 5th on Jack? And it is indeed the 5th and final foul as Isaac Jack fouls out, and now Trey King will take his spot. So critical stretch here, obviously, with 4:30 on the game clock. And the Mamba might get one more possession before we get to target score time. First, Fuller with the free throws. As a pretty fresh Jalen Williams is set to check back in here as well for Saskatoon.
The one thing here the Mamba have going for them is with the Stingers in foul trouble, they're not going to intentionally foul to put themselves into target time. They might be able to squeak out a couple more possessions if they keep that ball alive.
That's a great point, Eric. The foul numbers often can dictate how teams approach these scenarios. It's a 5-point Stingers lead as we tick down under 4.5 minutes on the game clock. Hornsby for King. Turnaround jumper, no. And Trey Townsend gets the rebound. Mamba looking to make it a one-possession game now. Bandu driving right to the rim. Devontae Bandu won't get many easier buckets than that. And he brings Saskatoon within 3. Hornsby for Boursier. Fuller trying to stay right with him. Boursier turns around, fires, no. The rebound for Nuga though. Outside, Lindsay spots it up, can't hit. And Jalen Williams gets the rebound. We're down under 4 minutes. Next stoppage will take us to target score time. Tavian Dunn-Martin, pull up for 3, no. Fuller trying to catch that rebound, but Scotty Lindsay pulls it away for Boursier. Clear out on this side, now out for Nuga, 3-pointer, rims out. Loose ball out of bounds, and that will take us to target score time. The Mamba doing their level best in the last minute or so to bring it back, and it's a 3-point game as we head to target score time. Exciting finish coming right up. You're watching the Canadian Elite Basketball League on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime. Oh, and it goes. Nick Hornsby. Here's Copeland for the win. You gotta love a Canadian boost. Two hands. Oh, what a block from behind.
Next bucket wins. Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama,
that anything can happen. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this guy?
big players step up in big times. He is cooking.
113 is the target score tonight in an offensive forward kind of game here, Eric. It has been a back and forth, fast-paced game. The Stingers kind of defying expectation a little bit, and it's been to their benefit here tonight. They have the 3-point lead as we begin target score time.
Yeah, the Stingers have found a way to battle tonight. You know, we would have come into this game thinking they wanted to keep it at the game in the 80s and a slower-paced game. To their credit, they've adjusted on the fly here to meet the personnel that they have available tonight.
For a team that has averaged 88 points a game this season, they're well surpassed that this evening. Mamba with the basketball to begin target score time. Williams, Bandu for 3. No, that looked good out of the hand, but a foul is going to be called here on Fuller as he tried to race in and grab that rebound. Now the Mamba nowhere near foul trouble. That's just their second team foul here in the fourth quarter / target time. But it will give the ball back to Edmonton, leading it 104-101. Inside Bandamel, Fuller facing him up. Bandamel no good. Williams on the glass. And Bandu brings it up the floor. Working on Hornsby to this cutting Tavian Dunmartin, now in the corner. Bandu back outside, TDM. Jalen Williams. Good ball movement here. Can they pay it off? Fuller, yes he can! Tie game. And first to 9 will win it. 104-104.
We know the Mamba are comfortable here in target time, and even when they start down, they've had a number of amazing comebacks this season. Got to wonder if the Stingers are going to get in their head a little bit.
But make that Trey King with a emphatic response. Another 3 the other way. Back comes Williams, who responds with 2 inside. It's 107-106. And the pace not slowing at all here to start target score time. Boz Davis Jr., who's had a good rest here in the second half, forces that one up, and Fuller's having an impact at both ends here in the late going. Bandu now, Trey Townsend, Fuller, all the way around to Williams, who stepped out of bounds, and he had a clear path to the basket.
Yeah, you gotta love the unselfishness there, though. A bunch of guys had good shots, they move it around, and we're right on pace to get a great one.
Well, the Mamba will look to regroup here defensively as the Stingers bring it up. Hornsby calls the play. Edmonton 6 away from the victory. Donald can't get past Dunmartin. King now, step back 3, high in the air, comes up short, but Bandumel read that. Got the rebound, shot clock expires, and the tip in by Davis Jr.
Lots of target times are sort of set up and made by ugly plays and unconventional plays. Those extra efforts, little things, turnovers lead to fast breaks, offensive rebounds lead to extra points.
Dunmartin now. Puts King on skates. No good. Townsend, a couple chances, and he gets the second one. Stingers 109, Mamba 108. Hornsby, Bandumel, open look for 3, yes! 1 point away from the win. Isaiah Fox wanted a timeout there and generously granted it.
Take it when you can get it.
Yeah,
Ryan.
The play was underway, but he does get the foul, or pardon me, the timeout. And the Stingers just so impressive here, really since the early going, but still a chance for the Mamba, but they're going to need some more Mamba magic. Today is the first half of a home-and-home series between these two teams as the battle for seeding in the Western Conference heats up. Catch the rematch from Edmonton this Sunday at 4 p.m. Mountain and Central, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Some interesting strategy stuff coming up here for the Stingers to talk about. With the Mamba being 5 points away, a 2 or a 3, it's a 2-possession game regardless. They just need to get one good stop. There's no point in fouling at this point and putting anyone at the free throw line for some easy points. Solid defense. And then remember, you only need 1 point to win this game. Attack the rim, get yourself to the free throw line. You only need one of those to go in. But that doesn't mean if you can't create a good shot, take it.
And Emmanuel Bandumel, who was quieter in this second half than he was in the first, at least offensively, but late here, he has really stepped up, hit a couple of big shots, none bigger than that 3. He's now got 25 points, matching the output of Nick Hornsby. Those two have really been driving the bus tonight for Edmonton. But can't say enough good things about Nick Hornsby's double-double, 25 and 11 assists here tonight. Mamba basketball out of the timeout. Trailing by 4, 5 away from the target. Dunmartin pulls up for 3, no. Townsend skies in to win the rebound. Williams now, good closeout by King. Another chance, Williams, too strong. And that's off Bandu and out. And now the Stingers with their first chance to win it.
Interesting call here. Coach Jordan Baker looked like he was going to call a timeout. Got some advice from the bench. He's going to let them play here. Not allow the Mamba to make a plan for how they want to guard this action.
Gut check time. here in Saskatoon. Boz Davis Jr. brings it up the floor. Bandu fighting over the screen. Davis Jr. steps back and hits. Boz says ball game, and the Stingers snatch one here in Saskatoon.
Yeah, pretty ugly play there. Wasn't going the way the Stingers had really wanted, but you know what? Sometimes players make plays, and the Stingers did all night.
And once again, Edmonton has never lost 4 straight games in their entire franchise history, and they deny the Mamba a chance to match their longest ever win streak. A little bit of humble pie perhaps served up to the Mamba here tonight, Eric. A game that perhaps on paper they felt they should have won, but it comes down to execution, and the Stingers just did it at a higher level here tonight.
Yeah, the veteran play of the Stingers absolutely showed through tonight. The guys like Emmanuel Bandamel, Nick Hornsby just took the play under their wings and said, you know what? The Stingers have never lost 4. We're not going to start now.
A stabilizing victory for Edmonton, who picked up their 4th win of the season. They're now 4-7 on the year, and the Mamba back to the 500 mark with that loss. They sit at 6-6, and it certainly sets up what should be a very fun rematch this weekend in the Alberta capital.
Yeah, that's not an easy place to play. We've had a lot of tough battles down there, but the Mamba, I can guarantee you, are going to be more prepared and ready to go.
Look, we talked about Hornsby, we talked about Bandamel, but even a guy like Trey King, who was in foul trouble, he steps up, hits a huge 3 here in target score time, and that whole team really contributed to the cause tonight, but none more than Nick Hornsby. He's our Booster Juice player of the game, and he is now standing by with Katrin Hodson. So is Emmanuel Bandamel.
Emmanuel, okay, Nick, you broke your 3-game losing streak. How are you feeling about that?
I feel great about it. Took us a little bit, but happy to be back in the winning.
All right, 25 points on the board, 11 assists for you. How do you feel about that game? Did you feel it was a good 4th quarter?
I feel like the team, we played great as a team. We always talk about the highs and lows of basketball, and that was part of it today, and we just had to get out of that funk, and we did that.
Okay, so what happened in between the first half and the second half? What was that chat like that motivated you to get out there and put a performance on like that?
I mean, like you said, it's our first win since, being down 3 losses. So, it's just about being resilient. And we know we got a lot to prove, and it started tonight. So that's just the motivation that we got for ourselves.
Defense was a big focus. Do you feel that you saw an improvement from the team on that tonight?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, like I said earlier, rebound and defense is going to be our motto for the rest of the summer. So we want to take care of that every night.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Congratulations. Back to you, Ryan.
Thank you, Katrin. Thank you, Nick and Emmanuel. Nick Hornsby, the captain, he's just been back. That's just his 4th game since returning to this Edmonton team that he's played for several years. We'll talk a little bit more about his impact, though, on the other side of this break as we come back to wrap here on the other side. Stingers win it 115-108. You're watching the Canadian Elite Basketball League live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL+.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa, thanks.
That's my job.
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
Score! Big savings on parking at YEG. Use promo code STINGERS to save 20% on airport parking with Jet Set Parking. Affordable parking just minutes from the terminal. Book online at jetsetparking.com/YEG and use code STINGERS to save. Level up your game. Jet Set Parking has partnered with Edmonton International Airport for their new loyalty program, YEG Plus. Jet Set Parking at YEG Plus, a winning way to start your vacation.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
The CEBL, Canada's Pro Basketball League, and redtag.ca brings Canadian basketball fans a chance to save up to $300 off on vacation bookings all season long with promo code CEBL fans. I wonder how our mascots would spend their time on vacation. Book today with Red Tag and save $300.
RedTag.ca.
Back to wrap inside SaskTel Center. The next game across the CEBL is Friday night when Khalil Ahmad and the Niagara River Lions cross provincial lines and face off against the Montreal Alliance at the Verdun Auditorium. Tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. You can catch all the action on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Well, Ryan Flaherty, Eric Magdans here back with a few final thoughts as the Edmonton Stingers pull out a 115-108 victory. And you know, Eric, when it comes to the Mamba, they did a lot of things well offensively tonight. They shot 48%, 41 from beyond the arc. But the defense, which has really been their Achilles heel earlier in the season, it came back to bite them here tonight. It just wasn't where they needed to be, obviously with 115 points on the board for Edmonton.
Yeah, that's been sort of the story this year. When the Mamba have struggled, it's come down to their defense, their ability to contain the ball, their ability to play together and be connected. And a lot of that has also stemmed from the turnovers on offense. Too many turnovers tonight led to fast break points and easy buckets the other way.
We'll talk about Nick Hornsby, and I think, you know, one last note about him is the leadership piece. And sometimes it's about leading with your words, and sometimes it's about your actions. Tonight he was doing a lot of both, and really just an impressive performance from the Stingers veteran.
Yeah, just absolutely impressive performance. Did a little bit of everything and stepped up in absolutely key moments of the game when the Stingers needed him the most. Just an absolute gem of a player.
So the Mamba fall to 6-6. The Stingers improve to 4-7 on the season, and they will meet again on the 28th in Edmonton. That's the next game for both teams, and based on this one, should be a good one. For Eric Magdans and Katrin Hodson, I'm Ryan Flaherty. Thank you so much for watching as we say goodnight from Saskatoon.
Knock 'em out the way, knock 'em out the way, knock 'em out the way. With your head top down for some action.